The Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Speaker, I move that urgency be accorded the first reading of the New Zealand Security Intelligence Service Amendment Bill, the third reading of the Ngāti Apa North Island Claims Settlement Bill, the first readings of the Weathertight Homes Resolution Service Financial Assistance Package Amendment Bill, the Building Amendment Bill number 3, the Telecommunications, TSO, Broadband and Other Matters Amendment Bill, the passing through its remaining stages of the Taxation, GST and Remedial Matters Bill, the first readings of the Biodiversity Law Reform Bill and the Smoke-Free Environments Control and Enforcement Amendment Bill, the second reading of the Customs and Excise Joint Border Management Information Sharing and Other Matters Amendment Bill, and the passing through the remaining stages of the State Sector Management Bill, the Education Amendment Bill number 2, and the New Zealand Productivity Commission Bill, and of any bills into which any of those bills may be divided. Mr. Speaker, as I spoke about an hour ago, or a bit longer than that, to the House, and the Leader of the House's update on where we're going next week, the reality is that as we come to this end of the year, the government has a great deal of work that it needs to get either to select committees or completed in order that we may have orderly progress in the way government departments administer themselves beyond the new year. We're about to go into a long recess, and when we come back we have the Prime Minister's statement and then the attendant debate that goes around that, meaning that the amount of time available in February is also somewhat limited. Mr. Speaker, this is a government that doesn't shirk from the job it has to do of leading New Zealand, and that requires us to pass legislation. It's an extraordinary thing that we can have parties in this House upset about spending more time in this chamber. But, Mr. Speaker, for those reasons, I am happy to move the motion that as I have just read.
Point of order, the Honourable.
I raise a point of order about the inclusion of bills, or the instruction that's given to the House for bills to be considered under urgency. Once this debate has been once this vote or the motion has been moved and now we vote on it, is it possible for the government to add any other bills for consideration under urgency, or will it just cover the bills that have been read out by the Minister just now?
The advice I've received is that bills cannot be added unless the urgency concludes before the House rises. For the Honourable Darren Hughes.
For absolute clarity, so if a bill is attempted by the government to be included, and it was not the bill that the Minister read out in that list that he's just given, that bill would be out of order for us to consider that bill. Is that correct?
While under this urgency, the list should be the list that the Minister read out. That's my understanding of the Honourable Jerry Brownlee speaking to the point of order.
Mr. Speaker, it may help that if I table this, but if for clarity, I will. Perhaps I could read it again. I think.
Order. This is a point of order. The Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there was quite a lot of interjection across the House, and I'm quite convinced that the list that I've read is the list that we wish to pass. I suspect, Mr. Speaker, that the opposition believe that I've left something off the list. Of course, in the end, it is the government's list that is the one that we work through. If I have left something off, which I don't believe I have, then clearly the opposition's eagerness to go into urgency would facilitate us passing that. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm satisfied that the list that we have read is the list that we want to get. Yep.
Well,
I don't know, Mr. Speaker. So I would.
To ensure that the House is aware of what it is doing as it takes this vote, can I be certain that it was the first reading of the Biosecurity Law Reform Bill that was actually read out? It may have been mispronounced and so what I'd like to make sure the House is aware that the bill that Where opposed, because today plenty of people have mispronounced words in this House. All members are aware of that. And it's an easy thing to do when reading a long list, and I think I should make sure the House is aware of what it is voting on, because the House is about to vote on the motion. And as I understand it, it is the Biosecurity Law Reform Bill that is on the list that the House is voting on.
Mr. Speaker, that is correct. And I read the first readings of the Biosecurity Law Reform Bill and the Smoke-Free Environments Control and Enforcement Amendment Bill.
Just for the sake of clarity, I appreciate that. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
58 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
42 votes opposed.
Green Party.
9 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
5 votes in favour.
Maori Party.
In favour.
Progressive.
1 progressive vote opposed.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
The Honourable Chris Carter. Any other votes?
Order. The ayes are 68, the noes are 52. The motion is agreed to. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.